Hi, Stu.
Hello.
So, thank you for coming.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So, you are an English teacher in Japan,
That's right.
and you are from England.
Yes.
When did you come to Japan?
I came to Japan 7 years ago.
Oh. You are teaching English to Japanese students.
Yeah, that's right.
How long have you worked as an English teacher?
For the whole time, I've been teaching for 7 years.
Oh, 7 years. Okay. Before coming to Japan, what did you do in England?
I have done some form of teaching or coaching at some levels. I was a support worker for people with learning disabilities, and I was part of management teams for hotels, so training staff and things like this. And then I also run a kids football team for a little bit as well.
What brought you to Japan?
My wife is Japanese, and we met in England, and now I'm here with her, and we've got 2 kids. So yeah.
Was it hard to decide to come to Japan?
No, not for me. No, I had an interest anyway in Japanese culture, and it just pure coincidence and fate, if you want, that everything went the way it did. And very happy to be here. You know, it's very quiet at night, so I like that kind of aspect of it.
Was it easy to get accustomed to Japanese lifestyle or culture?
I would say it wasn't. I think wherever you go, you still run your normal life. You know, you still go to work, you still come home, you still eat food, etc. A big difference probably is the social side of things in England. When you're with your group of friends or even work colleagues, you often go out for nights out. But I didn't experience that so much here, but now and again. But to be honest, that's fine because I've got a family. So for me, that works out quite nice. I spend a lot of time with my family. But apart from that, a lot of things it's not as different as I expected. But I did a lot of research before coming because I knew I would be here for a long time. So, yeah.
Will you stay in Japan longer?
I think so, because my kids are in school. So we will probably be here for at least until they graduate, I'd assume. But you never know. We can go anywhere these days, you know, so there's lots of opportunities, I think.
Yeah. You are teaching English, so what do you think Japanese weakness of speaking English or about English?
So for me, from the students that I've had, the many students that I've had in Japan, the biggest thing that I've found is just they have a lot of knowledge, lots and lots of knowledge about English, but they aren't used to using the language. And I kind of compare it to sports always. Like, I've read a lot about soccer or football, but you know, I can't play to the same level as Cristiano Ronaldo because I don't play as much as him. So you have to think the same as there's different muscles in your mouth, and you have to use your mouth as often as possible to be able to become, you know, fluent in a language. So I think it's just a case of students just need to speak as often as they can, and it doesn't have to be with native speakers, with anyone, you know, just get the practice in.
In your Instagram, you post a lot of videos about pronunciation, and most Japanese people struggle with pronunciation. Do you have any tip for Japanese people?
Yeah, of course. I think there's the first thing is, like we talked about, you need to speak as often as possible, because if you don't practice, just like going to the gym, you can't get a good body unless you unless you go to the gym or you exercise every day. And the same with speaking. So you need to make things normal in your mouth. And then the next thing is, if we're going to pick a couple of sounds, definitely L and R, but I think everyone will say that one. The Japanese R sound is in the middle of the English L and the English R sound. So it makes it very, very difficult for Japanese speakers with that. For the R sound, you don't need to touch the top of your mouth like you would do with a Japanese R. And the L sound, touch the back of your teeth and bring the tongue down. And then you can distinguish a difference between the two. And then another sound would be in words like would. The W with an U afterwards is normally a bit difficult. So again, it's just a case of practice and being aware of the difference that you're making compared to whatever native speaker you're trying to mimic. So that would be my tip, yeah.
You're from England, so do you think there is a big difference between British English and American English?
The core of the language is the same. It's very, very similar. The real key difference is the pronunciation or the variety of accents in both countries, which makes it difficult for any learner. Whenever that situation happens, I always suggest to learners, why are you learning English? Are you learning English to go to a specific part of America or a specific part of England? Because when you know that information, you can practice listening to the accents of the people around that area. If you want to speak to people whilst in Japan, it's probably more likely you'll speak to other Japanese people in English. So whilst obviously meeting a native speaker may make you nervous, I would suggest just to try and speak to anyone for the minute and then get used to hearing English being used. And then if you see a native speaker, just give it a go. They're not gonna be angry with you for trying, for sure. So just try and speak. Yeah, for sure.
And about your life in Japan, how many days do you work a week?
Okay. In my previous job, when I worked for a Japanese company, I worked for 5 days a week, and sometimes a sixth day if we had a special event. I worked in an international school. So sometimes there was a sports festival or something. I would now work for myself. So I run my own business and I work almost every day, I would say, just because I really enjoy what I do. You know, I enjoyed my previous job as well, but doing it for yourself is different. You get the opportunity, you know, to make decisions and you get the chance to progress in whatever way you want. And it's in my hands, you know, so I try and work as often as I can. And I just love teaching people, to be honest. So that sounds like a cheesy thing to say maybe, but I really do enjoy it. And it's just a great experience having the opportunity to meet people from different backgrounds and get the opportunity to also learn new things about teaching English specifically.
When did you make your business?
I made my business a year and a half ago. Well, basically a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Because it's not too long, but you have a lot of followers on Instagram. Yeah, it's amazing. So, do you post a video every day?
Yeah, I started the Instagram 3 years ago. And my initial goal was just to post every day. At some point in time, I was posting like 4 or 5 pieces of content a day because I was really focused around it. Now I'm around about 2 pieces a day. I do some live streams and things as well. As I've now become better at making content, I'm now looking at the quality of my posts more so than just trying to get in the process of the routine and things. So yeah.
Oh. Do you edit your videos by yourself?
Everything by myself, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I have had some help at different points in time, but primarily I do the majority of the editing myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you work a lot.
Yeah, but it's fun for me, you know, learning new skills and getting into like video editing and learning how to make a podcast and all of these kind of things is interesting for me. So.
Do you learn Japanese language?
I have done in the past. I will say that I have many excuses why my Japanese isn't great. I do want to learn. It's not like I don't. It's just, you know, I'm an English teacher, and at all of the jobs I've had, I'm not allowed to use any Japanese. I haven't been allowed to use any Japanese. And then at home, I have 2 children, so I want them to learn English. So my life is full of English, but I am studying and I'm trying my best to get better and better. But that experience has allowed me to become a better teacher because now I understand more from a learner's perspective as well. And so, yeah.
Do you have some goals in your future?
Yeah, many. So at one point I'd love to do some TV work, to be honest. Yeah. In terms of social media, I want to improve all of my channels to get to help as many people as possible. That's really the key element. That's why I started, was to help people learn English. And I'm looking to work out ways to create different kinds of content that I've never done before. So more long form or story-based content which can help people learn English as well, whether it's listening or even learning new words. So at the minute, there's a bunch of goals that my mind's always thinking of new things. So yeah, hopefully in the future there'll be a lot of great things to come.
If the audience want to learn English from you, how to apply?
So they should first of all check out if I'm the right person for them. So come and have a look at the social media first. Social media is a great way to see what a teacher's like. So you can test before you buy, and then just send me a message on social media, really. So my social media accounts are stu.sensei.english, pretty much everywhere. On Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. So plenty of access if you want to learn English. Yeah.
Yeah, please check them. All right. Thank you, Stu.
No worries. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay.
Cheers.